Hi everyone, now I realise that this video is only going to be of any interest to a minority of my subscribers because I'm going to talk about football, and in particular the World Cup that's going on now, and so, me being a Scot and supporting England. You may not think that's a big deal, but go and talk to any other Scottish person, you'll realise how much of a big deal it is. I watched Scott That Funk's video about him being in a bit of a quandary about whether to support England or USA when they played each other in their respective first games, and I left a comment on his video saying that as a Scot it goes against every fibre of my being, but I probably will support England during their World Cup campaign. And then I had the idea of this video, but it was mainly going to be about how mind-numbingly dull I find American sports, and only going to be a little bit about why I support England. But after getting a comment from Phil Helanes, that's right, the Phil Helanes, saying that this was the first time he ever heard a Scot saying this, and that he supported Scotland during their 1978 World Cup campaign, it kind of the video I wanted to do kind of evolved a bit. Now I'm going to mostly, well, plainly focus my video on why I support England and why I think other people don't support England, although I still think that American sports are mind-numbingly dull. So, I was born in Scotland. I do consider myself Scottish, but my mother is English, so I guess in a sense I am half English. I remember supporting England during the 1996 European Championships, which were held in Britain, where they got to the semis before being knocked out by Germany on penalties in the semi-finals. And I remember supporting them in the 2006 World Cup in Germany, when they got to the quarterfinals and knocked out by Portugal on penalties. You'll see a recurring thing here if you're not too familiar about England in the World Cup or European Championships, and the whole Cristiano Ronaldo wink thing that happened during the game as well. So I do like to see England do well. I've lived here for the vast majority of my life, and so just like if you moved somewhere, you get acclimatized to the place you live, and you start to you really like the place you live, and then you support if you're a football supporter, you support your local teams. You want them to do well. It doesn't matter if you were born there or not, because you've acquired an affinity for the place, and so that's the same reason why I support England. And if any other British team were in the World Cup, I'd support them as well. If Wales or Northern Ireland or even the Republic of Ireland got into the World Cup, I would support them and want them to do well. Just like if any British teams or any team from the Republic of Ireland got into say the Europa League or the Champions League, I would support them and I would want them to do well. Although saying that, I have had bad experiences when it comes to English fans, and this was back when Scotland played England during Euro 96. Yeah, you beat us, you fuckers. We lost to England 2-1. And back then everybody knew that I was Scottish and that I was supporting Scotland, because I still am very proud of the fact that I'm from Scotland. And even though I'd lived where I was for 8 years, most of the people who went to the same school as I did were from around there, and had sort of grown up with each other from birth, basically. So they were sort of they'd known each other for years and years, and I was still kind of a new kid, even though I'd been there for quite a few years. And they all knew that I was Scottish, and so that was kind of a rarity thing, since most of them grew up around the same place. And so I can't remember when it was. It was probably a day or so afterwards. I was coming out of the gym, and I was just sort of flash mobbed by loads of people that sort of pinned me against the wall and just started shouting like 2-1, 2-1, and loser and all those things. And that didn't really bother me that much. I was just like, yeah, come on. Yeah, I can take it, because I'm a fan of Scotland. I mean, we know we're shit. I mean, Christ, if we consider a game a success if we get a throw-in the opponent's half, that's the kind of standard that we have. But even after that, I still supported England when they were against Germany in the semi-finals. I remember watching it with my brother, and when Gareth Southgate missed the final penalty that sent England out, I was like, oh no, like that. And my brother was like, yeah, because he loves to hate England, almost as much as my dad does. And it's why I think a lot of people don't support England, and there is a lot of sort of anti-English rhetoric and hate out there from like Welsh and Scottish people. In fact, people have even had T-shirts made up that say Abe on them, and that stands for anyone but England, which means they will support anyone as long as it isn't England. And why I think this is because and I have a problem with this as well, is the egotism some supporters and some journalists have when it comes to the English football team. And they have a saying over here that's like, England expects, and that really pisses me off. I mean, okay, you won it once, alright, a fucking lifetime ago, literally, for some people, and do you really think that Uruguay has this sort of high expectation, this sort of high standard of their team? Because they won it twice, they won it one more time than you, and they won it both times they won it an equally long time ago from in comparison to when you won it. I mean, you won it once, like 44 fucking years ago, on your own home soil. You haven't won anything since, and you still get this England expects. I mean, it's this kind of attitude that some supporters and journalists have that just shows this amazing level of arrogance, and this is what pisses a lot of people off, and it pisses me off as well. And if you watch any of my videos, you know that it takes a lot to piss me off. But it's the expects word that I don't like. It's not even like they're saying, come on England, let's go out there and try and win as many matches as possible, and if maybe we get a bit of good luck and we play our best, maybe we can get into the final and have a real shot at winning. But no, it's like England expects, like they're expecting to win, and this is the kind of massive superiority attitude that they have that really does grate on me, and why I think it puts a lot of people off. By the way, you know who was the first team to beat England after they became world champions in 1966? Yep, it was Scotland. But you don't hear us going on about 44 years, do you? Now I'm not saying that you shouldn't think that you can win. I mean, a healthy competitive attitude definitely helps, but we're having such high and, in my opinion, misplaced expectations. It'll only harm your support, and it's going to turn neutrals away. It's going to turn other people away. Not me, but it will turn other people that would normally support England, to having a sort of a bad taste in their mouth when they think about England and the English supporters. So I still support England. I mean, I've been here in England a long time, 22 years, and I have become acclimatized, and I do love this country. I don't want to live anywhere else, and I've lived in Bristol since 1998, and I like to see Bristol teams do well. But supporting supporting teams, it's a very hard thing to try and quantify. It's not a rational thing. It's an irrational thing. It's feelings that you have towards teams. I actually supported the American. I wanted to support the Americans during the England-American match. But how I still know that I supported England is because when the Americans scored and Robert Green it slipped out of his hands, I went like, oh no, and my stomach sank. So that's how I can tell that I support England. And they are a good team. Wayne Rooney is a world-class player, and I love the World Cup because it gets all the world-class players playing to find out who's the best, and you can get some incredible games and some incredible goals. And football at its best is like an art form. The way they can twist with the ball and turn and knock a ball into the top of the net from 25 yards out or something. It's like poetry to me. I mean, you can really tell I love football, can't you? But it's more of the portion of the fans I don't like, and I think that's what turns a lot of people away. As I said, I like the team, and I like the country as well. It's just that, but the differences between me and some other people that don't support England is that I'm not going to let the fans get in the way of a team whose players I like in a country that I like and have lived in for the vast majority of my life. I mean, I don't care about all the, people say, oh, because of all the shit that's gone on between England and Scotland over the centuries. I mean, that means nothing to me. That's not going to stop me supporting a football team. Just because we've had some Barneys during the years to underestimate a little, but that was something that I had no control over, and I have fond memories of this country, and I'm not going to let that stop me from supporting England. So I'm going to be supporting England as long as they don't get into the final, because God, I've been here in about 1966 for the rest of my whole life, and I don't want to go through the rest of my life with them going on about 2010. So I'll be supporting England up until they get to the final. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Cheerio.